Now, there are skills we can learn to increase our ability to deal with the negative issues that come our way, that can assist in dealing with the world at the moment. Are you interested in finding out? But before we begin, if you haven't come across me before, I will introduce myself now. I'm Rachel Wood. I'm a relationship and life coach, as well as the founder of Creative Pathways Coaching. One of my specialties when coaching is empowering others in handling life's challenges, giving them the tools and support they need to deal with whatever gets thrown at them. And yes, in the last year, we've all had a bit to deal with. So my mission is to provide services, information and tools in many different forms, including free stuff too, so that everyone has access to creating a life they love. I provide online courses, but I also provide very low-cost resources and free advice so that even people who can't afford the courses can access the information or access the opportunity to plant the seeds of positive growth in their lives for a better life. Well, that's my mission anyway. I'm also an educator, author, motivational speaker, and I've been in the business of helping people for a long time, just over 20 years. I was a counsellor and therapist for many years until I set up my own coaching business a number of years ago. I've worked in trauma, child and family counselling, and even disability. As such, I have a full range of experience and can provide you with the appropriate expert advice and information needed. Creative Pathways Coaching provides both free training, like this training, but also meditation, manifestation, and journaling resources, really good resources you should check out on our website. Also, we have coaching packages, books, and premium online courses available too. Later in the next few months, we'll be offering some reasonably priced workshops on specific subject areas like self-sabotage, increasing motivation, and how to influence others, so make sure you stay connected with us. And I believe that one of the main themes happening this year and the last year for the whole planet has to do with the concept of fear. We all deal with fear every day, but this fear has been amplified massively in 2020 and is still in this year too. It's mind-blowing to see this fear on social media and in the news. What do you think? Do you agree? So when we're dealing with an already hard situation with health implications and our own fears, it's even harder to deal with the fear that's being projected by others, including the people around us. In this situation, it is very difficult to be powerful in your world, wouldn't you say? So let's look at what fear can do to you. Fear and stress can weaken our immune system, causing a multitude of health implications, including stomach issues. It can accelerate aging because of the long-term, stress. And our body is in constant fight or flight mode, which means this can have long-term issues for our organs and even cause premature death. Fear and stress impairs long-term memory and can cause damage to parts of the brain because of a result of being in constant anxiety all the time. With the brain too, interfering with the regulation of our emotions, and it actually impacts on the way we appropriately deal with situations. We're more likely to impulsively react. When we constantly live in fear, we will more likely react in this impulsive and reactionary way in situations. And of course, the implications to mental health are well known, including exacerbating pre-existing disorders, as well as additional issues such as fatigue, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress too. So finding healthy ways to look after ourselves while there is a huge amount of stress in the world at the moment is a pretty obvious choice, wouldn't you say? Yeah? So how do we do this? I'm going to first go over some qualities you need to develop as part of dealing with the bumps in life. Then I'll mention a few techniques you can use to develop these qualities. Are you ready to dive in? Ideally, we would need to attain a high level of personal power and self-mastery in our world so that we are emotionally strong against the stress that bombards us regularly, whether from recent events or just dealing with everyday events in our world. This power is the power we have within us. It is an ideal quality to have to deal with the negative situations in life and generally create a more fulfilling and happier life overall. And part of this personal power, this level of empowerment, has to do with the ability to be resilient. So, maybe you might ask the question, what is resiliency? So, resiliency is a toughness, whether it be emotional resiliency or physical resiliency. It's a hardiness where we aren't so vulnerable against the forces in our life that might undo us. And emotional resiliency is the ability to adapt to stressful situations and cope with life's ups and downs. This resiliency doesn't eliminate stress or erase life's difficulties, but allows you to tackle or accept problems in a healthy way, live through adversity, and then move on with life while still being okay. A huge part of resiliency has to do with a personal trait called adaptability. Adaptability is the ability to be flexible in handling change, balance a multitude of demands, and adjust to new situations, and still be able to see different perspectives in life. It's a quality that is high on the emotional intelligence scale. So it's a quality you want to have generally anyway, but it's essential when you're dealing with stressful situations in a healthy way. It can be a trait you can develop from sometimes adverse situations. And here's a good example. As a child, my family and I moved around lots. I went to about 15 schools overall, here in Australia, but also overseas. And as a result, one of the qualities I developed was adaptability, funnily enough. I can say that it was not a particularly pleasant way to acquire this quality, but I will say I am grateful. I was not grateful for every time I had to start a new school. I loathed the first few days of a new school, but this experience has given me the quality that I believe is just invaluable. So I'm going to talk about the development of adaptability, of learning and growth in circumstances that are a little on the challenging side. So it's inevitable that circumstances and experiences may call your life into question, causing you to reevaluate your life. This world situation at the moment might be one of those, but there might be others. For example, experiencing a breakup of a relationship might cause you to call into question your identity, causing you to reevaluate your own behaviors, thoughts, and desires. Humans by nature do not like to reevaluate or question the beliefs they already have in place. It makes them feel insecure and vulnerable. We're pressured to have it all figured out all the time. And questioning ourselves runs right up against this expectation that we have of ourselves and of others. We also don't like being forced into situations where we're forced to question our life. And forced to do this is what we feel when we encounter these experiences that cause this questioning. It feels like it's happening to us and we have no power or control to stop it. It's beyond our will. It makes us feel destabilized and insecure, not in control of our world. Does that sound familiar to you? We have all been socialized to believe that we must do the right thing or be the right way. And because of this vulnerability and destabilization, we resist anything that calls our life into question, causing us to reevaluate. It's like a personal failure, a wrongness about us that we will do anything to avoid, or at least most people will. But what is aligned in with these experiences is the need to learn, to grow, and to create positive change in our lives. The calling for life improvement. And we also need to accept that these experiences will never stop coming. This calling into question of our life is part of the journey of life. They will come in the form of people we meet, in the things that we read and watch, experiences we encounter, and loss. Our world is offering up these experiences all the time. The world is constantly giving you the opportunity for far more self-improvement if you're open to it at all. As humans, we're obsessed with knowing because we think that if we know, we can prevent unwanted things happening, which means we perceive that we have more control if we do that. But the state of learning and growth is a higher state than the state of knowing because it offers more possibilities. You know, possibilities that have the potential to offer you more happiness than you have now. Knowing is staying at the same level. So as a human, you need to see that instead your role is more to evolve and progress in life than to stay still. And to be honest, life won't let you stay still with the encounters that it throws at you to call your life into question. So instead, be open-minded to life. Allow it to take you on the flow a bit. Perhaps stop resisting and let it take you where it's taking you anyway, without the struggle. And when you choose to do this, you can become curious about where life is actually taking you. This control is what makes us try and hold on to a way of thinking or fixed ideas or answers in our life, instead of actually looking at what the universe is trying to show you and where it wants you to go. This type of curiosity can give you the ability to change course completely if that is what is necessary by what life is calling into question for you. So it's important that you actually seek some new and different information. Try and look through your lens, your filter of life with different perspectives. Be open to new answers. Be an open door to better information, to better answers, to a better life. The people who are most aware and generally have the most joy are the people who are the most willing to question their life and make changes to it over and over again. So be brave if you can. This way of living gives so many possibilities, the possibilities of things getting better. So stop struggling and let those questions come. You must stop and reevaluate and question to be sure that you're on the right path, or to figure out which path is the right path for you. There are going to be circumstances in your life that you will experience that will test you, push you, devastate you, mostly to better things, but the journey might be very hard. This is life. Breakup of a relationship, death of a loved one, loss of financial assets, and so much more. All these can batter you around, but if you have some level of personal power and adaptability, you'll be able to deal with these situations in a way that puts you in the better position or a better place in the end. Life happens and it isn't always pretty. I think we all know that. Sometimes these circumstances can lead you to examine your life that puts you on the path to attaining personal power.